If you're not all love and light, you're not ready to ascend. If you're not actively healing and or talking to your inner child, you're going to remain stuck. If you're not dissecting your personality and your traumas, you're going to stay stuck in your patterns. And all these coaches, teachers, and speakers out there tell us you're not quite there yet. But if you listen to me, if you buy what I'm selling, you will. Hello, beautiful. How are you doing today? If you're here listening to these kinds of videos, to my videos, you feel there's something going on this planet, right? On different planes. It's like we're standing on shifting ground, like maybe even everything is a lie. It's a lie on the outside, what we believed about the world. And we even feel like it's a lie about what we were made to believe about ourselves inside. And it's really confusing and it's filled with uncertainty. And it's quite scary because it's like we have no foundation on which to stand solidly. And so because of all that unknown and uncertainty and shifting ground, well, as good personal growth, spiritual growth pupils, we seek answers. And we go out and look outside into the world for answers. But because we are in a place of uncertainty and feel a little bit of desperation because these times are really scary and everything is changing and nothing is for certain, well, we look outside in a kind of frantic, desperate way because we need answers to make sense of it all. And of course, coaches, teachers, speakers that say that they have the answer, the cure to our ache, and the answers to our questions are coming out of the woodwork. They say that they have the solution for our confusion and our fear. Well, here's the truth. We live in a world of propaganda. We are surrounded by it. It's like the means of communication in this world is propaganda. And I see it as there are two types. The first one is like the government telling us that what we see isn't true, or companies telling us that we need more stuff in order to be happy and to feel fulfilled. Then there's the medical system telling us that we're in danger, that our bodies are so vulnerable, and that the answer, of course, is the drug that they sell. All that from the kind of the outside world. It's all the outside world, but anyway, it's a different category. It's confusing, it's not good, but we're becoming quite aware of it, right? We're getting onto it, and it's like, whoa. You know, we're not gonna fall into this. We have fallen into it, but we're gonna come out. We're gonna crawl out of that hole because we see it now. But there is another more insidious type of propaganda. This one is the one that tells us that life, existence, being human, being awake is all about light, health, success, beauty, and higher. Always the higher. And that same category of propaganda also tells us that we cannot access our peace and our inner divinity without more healing, more shadow work, and more digging. I don't know, but if you're like me, this is beginning to feel off too. It just doesn't feel right. It's making me uncomfortable. It's my body is sending me signals. And it's like, wait a minute. I known about the other systems out there, but that also is beginning to feel like a system, like some programming too. We all know that there's a lot of discussion when we listen to people who speak to us about all the programming that we've been exposed to and that we've come to believe. And it's like this also, this type of propaganda that everything should be light and love if you're an awakened person, and that in order to access your divinity and your inner peace and inner divinity, you need more of something, of healing, of digging, of shadow work, and all this stuff. It also feels like we're stuck in there, right? It's like there's a matrix holding all this together that we believe. And the thing is, though, that those signals that our bodies are sending us, and our psyche, not just our bodies, but it's telling us like, whoa, something's off here. And there are glitches that kind of ping us like little shock waves, little shocks that are being sent through our bodies and telling us, whoa, like something's wrong here. There's a glitch in the matrix. Not everybody feels it, but those of us who are sensitive and deeply aware, we do. And we are getting smart to it, and we have questions. The undercurrent of that propaganda is this. If you're not if you're not in an upward movement, you're a failure. If you're not all love and light, you're not ready to ascend. If you're not actively healing and or talking to your inner child, you're going to remain stuck. If you're not dissecting your personality and your traumas, you're going to stay stuck in your patterns. And if you're a mess, and if your life is messy, you are stuck in the false matrix. They want us to believe, they tell us that if we still have fears and we still live in a world where cruelty and ugliness exists, we are stuck in a 3D world and somehow we're being left behind. And all these coaches, teachers, and speakers out there tell us, you're not quite there yet. But if you listen to me, if you buy what I'm selling, you will. How does that make you feel? All those things that you hear, I mean, it has to stop. It doesn't feel right. And I think we could try something different just for fun. Listen to these words instead. You're okay. You're okay, and you can stop chasing the healing. You can stop chasing the higher. You can stop chasing the success. You can stop chasing the better. And you are still okay. How does that feel? That idea of not having to chase anymore. I know there's truth in there because when I hear it, my gut and my chest consider relaxing, unclenching. My breath thinks that, maybe I can deepen. You know, it gets me out of fear somehow. It's like it gets me out of a sense of survival. When I hear that I'm okay if I stop chasing, it kind of makes me want to cry if I really hear that message and let it land inside of me. It brings tears to my eyes because just the thought of removing that pressure from my life feels like I'm being set free in some way. it makes me feel like I'm loved unconditionally, because we do all this really to find the pure, true love that we know is our truth and our home. Taking that in doesn't change our life circumstances, but it changes our presence in our lives. It makes us get out of the spin that we've gotten ourselves into, and it makes us become the eye of the storm. And from that place, in that spot, we can breathe. And this is a really good place to start from. It doesn't mean that we're without worry or fear, but it means that we can start standing in our center and finding our footing and start to live from that place. We can start looking at the world from that place and showing up from there, instead of being part of the swirl that's going around there, instead of being part of the storm. Here's something that I'll share as a truth, because it resonates as truth to me. Healing, evolving, and coming home to our divine essence is not about adding more. It's about revealing more, which usually doesn't happen by piling more on, but rather by peeling off some stuff. So, what are the things that we can do? I think that first, we can start accepting and embracing that humaning is messy. However enlightened we become as humans, we will always experience loss and illness and heartbreaks and disillusionment and disappointment. It's part of the human experience, and we should not let other people tell us otherwise. If somebody tries to sell you that, you should run the other way because it's a lie, or at least it's a delusion. Trust the people who show up and don't always have it all figured out. Trust people who show up a little disheveled in their appearance or in their minds and in their thoughts, and those who admit that, truth is, I've got some ideas, but I'm kind of a mess. Trust the people who, maybe the people who write a book called A Splendid Mess, where they agreed to reveal the messiness of their lives unabashedly for you to see that this is life, and also share that it's splendid at the same time. Second, we can start focusing on what we know is real, on what we know we can trust, on things that are connected to our human divinity. Because that's what we want, right? That's the connection that we seek. That's where we seek so much answer outside. It's because we want to connect to our human aspect, to our divine aspect inside our humanity. And what are those things? Simple. It's love and kindness and connection and caring for one another. It's awe, it's flow, it's communion with nature, it's compassion. Those are things that come from our essence. They are the opposite of the chase. They're right there inside of us. These are truths in a world that feels like a big lie. These are the things that we can trust. I really believe that right now, this is the most empowering and powerful thing that we can do for ourselves and for the world. Find our center, find our truth, find our footing, and build out from there. I want to say this again. You're okay. You can stop chasing the healing. the higher, the better, the success, the more. You're okay just as you are, doing what you're doing today. You're okay. You are loved beyond your capacity to comprehend, unconditionally. That's what I'm told. We are loved beyond our capacity to comprehend. I love you. Bye.